Hi guys, welcome to our Springbok Media Conference. We've got Ox and Ben Jason. Please raise your hands for questions, and please guys, one question at a time, and then we can just do maybe at the end a little bit of Afrikaans, and if Oxy wants to surprise us, he can as well if he wants to, although he doesn't generally. So cool, hands up for questions. Annemie?
Is it okay for you?
No, it's fine.
Is this type of test the one that schoolboy dreams are made of? I mean, there are a lot of tests you're going to play in your life, but playing against the All Blacks is something different in South Africa?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you 100%. I think that's the dream. That's the standard, I would say, and that's also like when you, as you grow up, a Bok fan. That's the big moments, and you you plan your Saturday. Some people plan the week around watching the Bok test, and then being able to experience it myself. I'm looking forward to it a lot, and I think it is a real deal.
But Jason, just have you taken a moment ever to sit back and just say, I mean, geez, this year has been amazing for you, and now you get to start against the All Blacks. Have you has it sunk in at all?
I think I've been living on the momentum and the excitement. I don't think that moment has come fully where I can sit back and be like, hey, this has been massive. But I'm enjoying the moment and trying to make the best of it and trying to serve the team well and enjoying it along the way as well.
Have you felt the difference in this week as opposed to the other test weeks in terms of just excitement and things like that?
For myself, it was quite a bit of nerves from earlier in the week, but I think it's just the intensity, the urgency, the effort that goes into the prep. It's up there, but we have been doing well with the prep for the previous test as well, so it's similar.
Ox, for basically everyone here that will never have the privilege of scrummaging in a test match, especially against the All Blacks, can you just describe that mano-a-mano situation of you looking at your opposition in the eyes before you go down in the scrum, and the emotions going through you, and what little tricks you might play to sort of upset him, and then once you've kind of scrummed him to held him back, how that next scrum is, and if there's fear, and if you see that in his eyes. Can you just explain that situation for us?
I think, for me, it's like a scrum is very personal naturally, and most props like take it very personally, and you always know the first one is probably going to be you think you're there to actually represent your country, and you take pride in that. And from there, for me, it's like there's no way you're gonna have to your tricks will be better than mine, and for me I have to prepare as well as I can, and then obviously teams will definitely prep as well, but in the end it's all about who has the biggest pride and who's the most proud. And after the first scrum it's always okay, we feel each other out. The second scrum, I think that's when you know what, you're in for a long day, and whoever sings last or whoever sings the longest will sing last. So I think for me, but as soon as we get the upper hand from after the second scrum, then you start seeing the doubt, you start feeling in the scrum as well, how they start playing tricks and finding new ways to actually disempower you. That's the word. And I think for me that's when you start seeing the doubt, and that's when you know what, I have him.
When they start faking injuries, then you know.
Exactly.
Liam?
Ben Jason, have you had a chance to look at last year's World Cup final and maybe take a few pointers on how man number 7 sort of makes his way around the field and
Yeah, obviously, I had maybe I can't say that, but I watched I watched the game over a couple of times, and specifically as well what Peter Step did. So it's a good question. I definitely did that, but I'm going to learn from it. My game is not exactly the same as his, and we're on the field at the same time, so we're going to be doing different roles. But I learn a lot from him, and it just it gives you a lot of confidence to have guys like Peter Step on the field with you.
Ox, what is your approach to to handling the haka when you're facing it? What goes through your mind?
I think for me, it's like a moment where I get to actually think about what my job is on the field. Because I mean, you have to also respect that it's like the New Zealand culture, and for you have to think, you know what, your next job, and how do you actually get yourself into the best position? What's the next job from here? And being the best you can. Because I think that's the moment where you can actually say, you know what, this is actually like, these are people showing pride for their country, and what are you going to do to show pride for your country, like, you understand, and stand up for your country.
So it lifts you.
Yeah, it lifts you. It gets you in a moment where you have to decide it's you or them.
It's been 10 years since the Boks last beat the All Blacks in this part. Has there been any chat around that, and how do you guys want to break that?
I think our focus has just been this test, obviously, and we don't really focus much on what has happened, but like what has recently happened. Like, I mean, you think the last time we played the All Blacks was in the World Cup final, so they'll be definitely hurting, and they're going to come guns blazing for us. They're not thinking, you know, it's been 10 years since they've like we've lost against them or whatever. But they'll be thinking about the last time we played these guys was in the World Cup final, and they're gonna come out and seek blood.
Ox, how much difference is the challenge that the All Blacks will bring in the scrums as compared to other sides, or Australia, or any of those sides?
I think the All Blacks, they obviously have the individuals that have the X factor, but the thing they do really well is the basics. They actually, you can see even when you analyze the team, is like they get to a point where they like perfected their basics, and you just have like, even when they're tired, the thing they go back to is basics. And I think that's the hardest thing about them, is that they have checks and all of that, but like when things get tough, they go back to basics. And I think that's probably the hardest thing compared to most other teams, where other teams will try to individually, like, obviously try their own tricks, but they literally just, the harder it gets, the more they come together and actually we focus on their process and basics.
Have you saw?
Jason, look at a guy like him. He's been and ever present in that test since 2012. In the week like this, especially for someone like who's playing this first test, what do you learn from him in this weekend? What have you learned from him in the time that you've been in the Boks camp and his importance to the team in general?
Specifically. I think something that stood out to me from a conversation that I had with him early from my time in the first couple of weeks in the camp was asking about his getting up for games and his hunger to his competitivity and his desire to win. And he said, like, as he plays, as he gets more experience, he gets more hungry to win and more passionate about winning those matches. So I just think it's about the heart with which he plays. You know, he has his heart on his sleeve. You know, you can even see the way that he celebrates small moments and big moments when we get a win. So that's kind of like, you feed off that energy and also just his passion to give his best for the team.
Kim?
Jason, speaking of Eben, he passed fit today, so included on the bench. Before that, you were the lock replacement. When you feel like you've dodged a bullet, not getting potentially go a bit closer to the front row, or you a bit disappointed?
I guess it simplifies my job a little bit, but I am working on having full confidence to fulfill that role. But maybe it is good that there's a bit more time for me to prepare.
Does it give you more sort of license to sort of really empty the tank, and the knowledge that he's there and that Peter Steph's also there, obviously, so your backup at number 7 is effectively already on the field? I mean, you can really empty the tank.
Yeah, definitely. It gives me a lot of confidence in that sense.
Okay, and just one other thing is you arrived after the sort of Super Rugby era, right, saying that. So have you ever played against a New Zealand team before? I mean, at age group level or anything?
I've only played against the under-20 team in the Junior World Cup 2018. So we played them in the 3rd and 4th playoffs. That's the only All Black team I played.
Okay, so it's the first experience at senior level for you.
Working with Coach Dan, how is it sort of like developed into becoming a scrum guru, knowing about the technicalities that are going to this man?
I think it's helped me a lot because since my first year out of school, he's been coaching me. So we've built quite a solid relationship, and he knows what I can do. He's seen the hard work that I've actually put in, and I know I can trust him. And whatever criticism he gives me, I can always take with on the chin, because I know he's actually being genuine and honest and wants to see me do the best I can, or be the best I can be.
BJ, a lot of you guys who've just come into the test scene just seem to have not went out of place as of just what's Australia. What would you attribute that to, and just the level that you found since coming into the Springbok City?
I think there's a couple of things. The one thing is it's a very welcoming environment. So since I've joined, I thought it was going to be more tense. And it's actually relaxed among the players and everything. Obviously it gets tense when you prepare and big weeks like this, but it's among the players it's relaxed, and you build a relationship, and it's a good time. Another thing is just I have to give glory to God. It's been a lot of grace and experience. Obviously you prepare a lot and you try to get yourself physically on a level that you can perform here, and when you get here, it feels like there's a lot of things that lift you to perform on that level. So all the support as well, but just glory to God as well.
Let's take the last English question there from Kaniso, and then we move on to other language.
Jason, just tell us more about yourself, your background, your life there at Paul. Also, how happy you were about the last week's result against Grey.
For Rose first team, they went unbeaten this year, if anybody didn't know. No, very happy. I was involved with a bit of coaching at the junior teams, grade 9 teams, and I enjoyed it a lot. And just to see how much fun they have, and with how much freedom they play, it's inspiring. And I came from there. It's been some of the best days at school playing rugby with mates. Just happy to see them do well.
Okay, let's move on to Benek and Afrikaans.
Benjamin, just now, oor die jare het ons heel wat legendarische rolsportspelers vir die All Blacks gesien. Suid-Afrika, die Nieu-Seeland, is hierdie die ultimate maatstaf vir die rolsportspeler. Moet jy nou Nieu-Seeland erweten?
Ek dink definitief so. Ek dink is 'n baie groot challenge, want jy weet as jy intensiteit en physicality bring in ander spanne, partykeer sal hulle miskien terugstaan of hulle sal as hulle moeg raak 'n bietjie uitback. Ek dink die All Blacks is so 'n span, hulle gaan vir jou 80 minute van rugby gee waar jy op jou beste moet wees. So ek dink is 'n baie groot challenge, en dis een waarvoor ek soos ek gesê 'n bietjie nervous is, maar baie opgewonde ook is.
BJ, jy word baie geperk met Pieter Steef bijvoorbeeld. Dink jy die teken van 28 tackles in die wêreldbeker eindstryd, dit kan oortref word deur iemand in die span Saterdag?
Ek like baie tackles doen, tackles maak, of het lyk maar so, dit gebeur maar so in 'n game. Maar wat hy gedoen het in die World Cup, ek weet nie of ek gou daarby uit gaan kom nie. So dit is net lekker om deel te wees van 'n span waar manne soos Pieter Steef en jy weet die backs op ons ook het, en die forwards, fisiese forwards, maar het werk in 'n slim forwards. Het is lekker om deel van so 'n groep te wees, en dit lig jou nogal. So ek gaan net my beste gaan gee, kyk wat gebeur.
Everyone happy? There we go.
How do you relate to prepare for weekend for game times? Again, the winning quote scrum times in the cabinet, you tend to less ability or the creme marking a mark in the winning shot.
Kinana Arabasheva compared to Jarate Fitilang, and Kare Morekaba Tulantinki Arehid, Bani Karbastada Hanyano Bani, Banale Bafanele for Baba Telele, and then Banale Matlo Viasi, so Babato Matlafalamo, and Le Batuba ba hlambenteng timing ya bona ba matla jolo ka ba qala so ke nana opportunity ya bona ke mo re tshwantsho re thube shape ya bona and then ke nana ho ya pele ke tla nna sharp.
Brendan, can we take one more English questions, then we'll switch?
Ox, just maybe a word on Harry, who's starting ahead of you this weekend. Just he's obviously a very quiet guy, doesn't speak much, but how is he in the scrum?
Well, Harry is pretty good. He works very hard, and I mean he does his basics pretty well, and he has like as much as he is quiet, but when it's time to work kick-offs, he is as hard as any South African I know, and he works hard, and he's like he has a presence on the field. Even though like off the field when you meet him, he's chill guy, pretty quiet, but he knows what to do and can get the job done.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks, Oxy and Ben.
Yes,
Jumping down there.
Can we just pop Nche?